One of the most important aspects of the sales process and of generating leads isn't even the lead generation itself. One of the things that I think almost every business owner messes up, or every business owner doesn't do because they get so busy, is this process that I'm about to talk about. So let's get into it. It's your follow-up process. You have to think about the idea of generating leads. Let's say you're generating leads in a high ticket business. So you're a fit pro and you're generating leads for a $5,000 offer, or you're a business coach and you're generating leads for a $10,000 offer. Now, most people think about the direct response method of getting leads. So you generate leads, you generate them in Messenger, you generate them into a phone call, you close the deal, you book the sale. If they don't book right there, they kind of drop off face and they're dead. But if that's the philosophy that we're following, we're probably going to miss out on upwards of 50% of the opportunities to make sales. And this is the reason the follow-up process is so important, because if you get follow-up on point, even if someone doesn't purchase on day one, even if someone doesn't purchase on the first phone call, eventually, by the sheer aspect of following up, they're going to purchase when they're ready. And you have to think about the ways people work. Often it can take up to 7 touch points, 8 touch points, 10 touch points, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 10 months to get someone to actually make a decision to want to work with you and pay a high ticket price. And often the industry plays it out like you're going to get your sales every day on day one, you're never going to have a problem, it's going to be sunshine and gumdrops, but that's not the case. And what we have to recognize is if we only allow people to come in and buy on a front-end process, we're leaving out on tens of thousands of dollars in revenue long-term by not following up with people. So we have to shift our focus away from this one-and-done mentality, this mentality where it's if they don't close, they die, you gotta book or die, and move into this mentality of if they don't tell me not to keep following up with them, if they don't tell me not to stay connected to them, I'm going to stay connected to them potentially forever until they actually decide to make a purchasing decision. And so when we think about the follow-up process, this doesn't mean you're like calling someone every day. It doesn't mean you're like brass balls, always be closing Glengarry Ross. What it means is you're staying top of mind. And so the different ways that we can stay top of mind are we can run retargeting ads so they consistently see our message. We can follow up with them via email. We can send emails out so they're consistently seeing our content. They're consistently seeing what we're putting out. They're consistently seeing our faces. They're consistently getting new offers via our content. We can also follow up via text message. We can send them a text message and see how they're doing every so often. We can check in on them. We can call them. We can make sure that everything we do puts us in a place where we're consistently and constantly top of mind. And that's what we want to do to build a rock solid sales process. And now the cool thing behind this is in the beginning, it's maybe nothing. And this is why most business owners don't actually do anything here, because they don't see the immediate benefit. And when you're in business long enough, you have to recognize that it's not just about the immediate benefit, it's about the long-term benefit of what we're doing. And so the long-term benefit of following up is building what I call the snowball impact. So you know how when you're building a snowman, you start off with like a little crumble of snow, and then you roll it and roll it and roll it, and all of a sudden you have this giant snowball that you can build a snowman with. Well, you can kind of think about this being the same process in follow-up. In the beginning, you have this little tiny system of follow-up. Then all of a sudden, you have more people you're following up with, then more and more and more and more until you have this freaking monster. And this monster eventually becomes part of your sales team's daily routine. They can go and they can call this list, they can email this list, they can do the things they need to do to stay in contact with these people. So no matter what's happening, these people who have come in are consistently getting followed up long term. And when you build a system like this, now all of a sudden your follow-up cycle, you're pulling in 1 lead a month, and then you're pulling in 2, then all of a sudden you're pulling in 5, then all of a sudden it's 10 a week. And this follow-up cycle becomes such a big chunk of revenue that your sales team knows exactly where to go if there's a light day on the front end. And maybe you have a bad month on your ads. Maybe your ads aren't running as hard as they usually do. Maybe they're not doing as much as they normally do. Well, guess what? Now you just go out and you pull from your follow-up strategy. And when you pull it from that follow-up, that allows you to make up the slack on what could potentially be a bad month and take that bad month and turn it into a normal or a really good month. And so this is why we really want to focus on the follow-up process. And we want to do it in a way to where we have multiple opportunities to get in front of someone and multiple opportunities to bring ourselves front and center to someone to encourage them to eventually make a purchasing decision, or when they decide they're ready and they're actually like, oh, I'm going to make this purchasing decision. I'm going to buy your weight loss program. I'm going to buy your business coaching program. I'm going to buy your thing. They're like, well, you know what? I've seen Chandler's face 674 times in all sorts of different environments. I'm just going to hire him because I know him, or I feel like I know him. I like him, and I think I trust him. So my fear, uncertainty, and doubt is basically gone. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, you know, it sounds like a good idea. And then they're like, oh, but hey, who's calling? Oh, it's Chandler. You're checking in on me via text. Let's book a phone call. I'm ready. ring, ring, cash in the bank. So that's what I want you to think about from this episode. Just start thinking about follow-up as a long-term strategy to build another opportunity to drive revenue into your business, to build multiple streams of income from your initial source of organic marketing or lead generation via ads or whatever you're doing. Use the back end, your capabilities in the back end to follow up with people to bring cash in the bank. All right, thank you.